Hey guys and gals, it's me, George, the Shade Tree Fix-It Man, and I'm out here in the shop, and I have a mail call and an update on the Goofy cart, all in one. And this package came to me, and it's pretty hefty, I gotta tell you, for a little package. Came to me all the way from Smithville, Arkansas. No, it's Kansas and Arkansas. No, it's Arkansas and Kansas. How come? The last part of both words is spelt the same. Anyways. Okay, George, you're going off. Anyway, let's open this package. And let me see. Gotta figure out how to open it here. Okay, there's the seam. I know what is in this package because this gentleman offered to make for me a part, or actually a couple of parts, that I need for the Goofy cart. Okay, here we go. The box is open. Whoa, look at that. How's that? Is that cool? No, that's not what it's about. Hi George, hope these will do the job. I'm really enjoying watching the Goofy Cart 2 come together. I tapped one end to make them easier to start. Oh, tapered one end to make them easier to start. Take care and keep the camera rolling, Chuck. And this is Chuck, the old brat rider. And what he has made for me is wheel adapters. And these puppies are not small. Look at the size of them dudes. 3/4 of an inch inside diameter. Diameter? There's my New England accent popping out. And 2-inch outside diameter. Now, here's the test. Oh yeah, that's a perfect fit on there. I can get rid of them things now. So, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna jack this up, and I'll bring you right back with these on and one of the wheels on. Well, they fit perfectly on the axle, which they should, but they're too tight going into the wheels. And the measurements that I got my measurements from were the bearings that were in these wheels, and they were a drive-in fit, and I thought I could drive these in. I've got this piece in about 1/4 of an inch. So what I think I'm going to have to do is I'll drive that back out of there again and do a little cleaning up on the inside of the wheel and see if I can loosen it up just a little bit so my adapter will slide in there. And I discovered something, and I'm going to take you off I'm going to take you off the tripod, so I'm going to have you bouncing all over the place. Hold on. Now, before I take you off the tripod, I want to show you something. I just saw this when I was lowering or jacking up the axle. You can see where I have my jack at. But I want you to watch and see if you can see what I saw. Watch this. As I take the pressure off the axle, well, it's off now. Let me drop the axle back down. Did you see that? Now, I'm seeing a little deflection in my axle, but I'm going to look again up close here and see if that is actually deflection of my axle or if it is a little bit of wear my bearings. No, it's the deflection in the axle. Not good. That means I may go back to plan A, which was using my original axle and using two factory axles and splicing them together. This is a piece of cold rolled steel, 3/4 inch. And if it can deflect that much, I don't know if you saw it or not, but I saw it. There is deflection in that piece of steel. And that's not good. If it can deflect just a little bit like that, with the little bit of weight that's on it, imagine what it will be under full pressure. I suppose once everything's turning and everything, that deflection won't be quite as noticeable. But on the other hand, when you get pressure on it, with it pulling against the sprocket over here and all of that good stuff, it might cause some wobble problems. You know what I'm saying? What I want you to see is our Watts linkage. And it's all hooked up. On this side here, it's hooked into our cross brace bracket for the rear end. And then the center link is bolted into the rear cross member, the upper rear cross member. And then over here, to keep my two links parallel, I added this piece on. I've just welded it. I haven't ground it off or anything. And my extensions are just tack welded on there. Nothing is finish welded because, you know, if you finish weld something at this point, woo, back out. If you finish weld something at this point, you may end up kicking yourself because you gotta cut it apart later. So, but I'm happy with this. In a normal Watts linkage setup, like on an automobile, the center link would actually be mounted on the axle, and your center pivot would be mounted on the axle, and the two links would go out and be anchored to the frame. We're doing it in reverse here, and from the investigation that I've done online, it can be done both ways. I have my pivot on the frame and my two links actually tied to the axle because we have no center point on the axle. I suppose I could have, if I wanted to, put that pivot point here and then gone from here to the frame over here and then from here to the frame over here. But I decided that this would look cleaner and it will do the job just as well, I'm sure. And if it doesn't work, I can always change it, you know. I can always put a panhard bar on it. So yeah, that's what we've been up to today. And waiting for some other parts to come, mainly half links for the chain. And I'm thinking about my brake system, but not working on it at the moment. Several people have mentioned that this is not going to be sufficient by itself to stop this big rig, and I agree it's not. And it will not be the only braking setup we have on it. I'm looking around and see what will fall into my lap. Originally, I had thought that I was going to be able to use the original little disc brake that actually mounts on the side of the transmission, but because of the location of the steering box, that's not going to happen. So, and I don't know that that would have been sufficient anyway. It's a mechanical lever type. But anyway, that's it for today. And thank you so much, Chuck, for these very, very nice wheel adapters. And he made them exactly the way I asked him to make them, and we'll make them fit. I should have allowed for a little bit of sloppage in these hubs here on the wheels. But like I said, I measured the bearings that were press fit in there, and that was probably my first mistake. Well, you know, George, maybe if you did a little cleanup on the inside of those wheels and get rid of the rust and the garbage in there, it might fit better. And that's what I'm doing. I think that's all it's going to take. I was in such a hurry and so hyperactive and so excited that I tried driving them in right off the bat. And then that's, you know, what the old saying is, haste makes waste. So I'll get these puppies cleaned up, and that'll make a huge difference. And the other thing that might help is if I put a little grease on there. You know, a little grease always helps. All right then. Thank you. Thank you again, Chuck. Excuse my ignorance and my excitement, my enthusiasm. Sometimes I jump ahead of myself. I guess the rest of you guys don't know anything about that, huh? You never jump ahead of yourself in your excitement to get things put together? Nah, you're smarter than that. Bye now.